The Gemara in Tainus on Daf Yud Beis discusses at what point does the Tainus begin. One who is fasting, and let's call it you're having a Tainus Yachad, let's assume, when does the fast begin? So there's a machlokes in the Gemara between Rabbi and Rav Shimon. Rabbi says where the fast begins at Alos HaShachar, at dawn. And Rav Shimon says when the rooster crows, which is, I'm not a farmer, but when I hear, it's a little bit before dawn. So there's a machlokes in the Gemara, does the fast begin at dawn or a little bit before? Comes along Rabbi and says this whole machlokes between Rabbi and Rav Shimon is only shelo gamar sudaso. That's only if you haven't finished the meal yet. So then the question is, how much longer could you eat? But if gamar sudaso, then you can't eat anymore afterwards. So the Gemara says, what are you talking about? It says gamar va'achal. We see from other places, no, you can eat after you finish the meal. So the Gemara says no. It depends if it's a low seal. Rashi explains that as long as the table is still there, so they used to leave the table there, so then it's okay to still eat. But if the table is gone, then it's no good. Or others say no, he didn't go to sleep yet. As long as he didn't go to sleep yet, it's okay. So it's a machlokes in the Gemara exactly. At what point does the Tainus begin? What's the kovei? Is it that you go to sleep, and therefore once you go to sleep, so the Tainus begins? Or no? Or as long as, or if you put the table away, you stopped eating. So the Gemara Rabbi asks, we see he went to sleep and he still ate. The Gemara says, no, he didn't really sleep. It was only, he only like dozed off a bit. But if he really slept, then he can't eat. So we see from here that it doesn't make a difference whether we see whether it's when you stopped eating or put the table away, where you went to sleep. That's when the kaveh of the tainus is, even before dawn. So the question is, what's the difference? If we're saying that, let's say for instance, let's say Yud Zayin Tammuz. The Yud Zayin Tammuz, we know the fast begins at dawn. By Tisha B'Av Yom Kippur begins the night before. By Yud Zayin Tammuz, the fast begins in the morning, at dawn. So what's the difference if you went to sleep and didn't have a mind, or you finished your meal? If the fast doesn't begin until dawn, what's this whole machlokes in the Gemara and the kaveh of the Tanya? I'll tell you what the kaveh is when it's dawn. That's when the fast begins. What's this whole discussion in the Gemara? Gamar sudaso, not gamar sudaso, went to sleep. So Rav Selevan explains, we see from here that really Yud Zayin Tammuz, the fast begins at night. It's labeled a Yom Tainus from Leil Yud Zayin Tammuz. What do you mean? It's labeled a Yom HaTainus, but I can eat at night. No, that's a special dispensation to eat. It's a Heter Achila, you can eat at night. But the Yom HaTainus begins we know that we hear about Yibokia, the day begins at night. So therefore, he points out the Heter Achila is also is at night, but the Tainus doesn't begin until the day. So that's the Rav Soloveitchik's Chiddush, or non-Chiddush, but that's what Rav Soloveitchik holds, that really we'll see the 3 weeks. That's the whole discussion. Everyone agrees you're allowed to eat until the morning. What about the laws of the 3 weeks, which usually kicks in with Yud Zayin Tammuz? Let's say a person forgot to shave, take a haircut, wants to listen to music, or whatever you can't do during the 3 weeks and you want to do now, could I do it the night before? So Rav Soloveitchik says no. the Yom HaTainis, which is the Koveya, is the beginning of the Ben HaMitzarim, so therefore it begins at night, because we see, what's the whole issue here of Gomar Sudaso, sleeping, if the Tainis begins in the morning, so there's nothing to discuss. In fact, the Gemara says, whole machlokes of the Koveya Tainis, and if you, whatever you have to do, if you finished eating or if you went to sleep, you can't eat anymore. I don't think I can't eat anymore. If the fast doesn't begin to the morning, why can't I eat? But then it must be that the fast, that the Yom HaTainis is Koveya the night before, but it's a special Heter Achila. The Heter Achila only applies as long as you have in mind. But once you either slept or Gomagamar Sudaso, that's the problem. That's Rav Soloveitchik's sheet. And what's his raya? He wants to bring a raya from a Gemara Shabbos, a Yerushalmi, that the Gemara talks about in Shabbos, that afilu yachid shagomer taniso, someone who is being, goes there a tainus on himself, and he's saying it's a tainus yachid, sarach lomar anenu. That we know on Shabbos Yantiv, we mentioned would say Yalav Yavo Meina Ma'ora. So the Gemara says on a fast day one has to mention Anenu on a Tainus Yachid. Why? Because that's a Tfilas Tainus. A Tfilas Tainus is Anenu. Okay, so very good. So when do I say Anenu? Which Tfilah do I say Anenu in? So the Rif quotes from the Yerushalmi, you say in all the Tfilas. You say it in Ma'ariv, the night before, Shacharis, and Mincha. And that's how the majority, Rov Rishonim seem to go that way, that we pass in like the Brisa, that you say Anenu on Aravis, Shacharis, and Mincha. Not all the Rishonim agree. The Balamor disagrees. The Balamor in Tanya says, we paskin that we don't say it at night. We only say it at Shacharis and Mincha, because we're afraid that at night, while you're eating at night, so therefore there's no Anenu, because you're eating. How could you say Anenu Yom Som Tanitzenu if you're eating? So the Balamor says you don't say Anenu till the morning. And the Gaonim, and the way we follow, is we don't say Anenu only at Tfilas Mincha. Why at Mincha? Why not at Ma'ariv and Shacharis? Because we want to be Mechzik Shikra, that who knows, you could say it at night, you might come to a night you're eating anyway, but during the morning, maybe I'll eat after. But I guess we figured, especially if it's a late Mincha, it's a good chance you're going to make it, or even if you don't make it, you fast until Chatzos, so you won't be a Mechzik Shikra. We're concerned about saying B'yom Zom Tanitzino. So we paskin, our minig is like the Gaonim, that we only say Anenu in Mincha. So what does Rav Soloveitchik point out? So what do we see from? We see from those Rishonim that you say Anenu b'yom som tanitzenu, even the Meir before. If the fast doesn't begin until the morning, but then we see it is a Yom Tainus. Therefore, it says right that all the Nihugi of the 3 weeks begin at night, because the din of Yud Zayin Tammuz, it's just a Heter Achila, but all the other halachas that would begin in the morning begin the night before. Bless you. So they point out that, and he has another ayah. The Gemara in Tainus talks about, we know Gemara in Tainus talks about Tainus, it's fasting, and they discuss about when do you need a Kabbalah's Tainus, or do you just decide I'm going to fast, or they have to do a Kabbalah. So that's what they talk about the Tainus Aksuvim, so then maybe you don't need a Kabbalah for it. It's already, we have no choice. We have to do them. That's the whole discussion. Mizman Hazeh, Mitina Gemara, it was Pater, so is that a din? Do we need a Kabbalah's Tainus or not? But generally speaking, on a tainus with, we don't have to be makabel Yom Kippur. It's happening whether we like it or not. However, a tainus yachid, the Gemara says you have to be makabel tainus. Either we do it by mincha before, or it has to happen at least before shkia of the fast day. That's the way. There's a tainus yachid, there's a tainus shows. But let's say you want to fast between 11 and 2, so you don't need a makabel. You give a makabel right before you do it. You don't have to do it the day before. What's the distinction? Why by a tainus yachid we need a Kabbalah the day before, and not by a Kabbalah this for hours? So it's to the rush in tainus, I believe, right, that a tainus chalam you need a yom sholem, so you need a full day. If you have a tainus yachid, it has to be a full day. So therefore, you must be makabel before the day starts. But by a tainus sholos, you just be makabel a couple of hours. So we see again. So they point. So we see by a kabbalah yachid, you need the whole. You have to be makabel the tainus even before. So, but then because you need a full yom tainus, you need a full day. So again, it seems to be a raya for Selevan that the Nihugi Avelis and the Nihugim of the Ben HaMitzarim of the 3 weeks begin the night before. It's just a special Heter Achila. And in fact, that's what they point out. Rav Shachta always quotes from the Torah, from one of the Achronim, when they talk about kind of Nida Imik, because we're afraid it's going to get stuck in our teeth. So they discuss Pasuk Yayin. They discuss about not having it the night of the tainus and the night before. Why wouldn't you have it the night of the tainus? Because if it's a yom tainus, even though it's a heter achila, but maybe you should have dairy. So, and that's the whole issue about. That's why, in general, we don't make. We don't do other things on the day also. So that's Rav Soloveitchik Shita. Rav Moshe Feinstein says a famous truva is Meiko b'shas Chak Leil Yud Zayin Tamas. Whether it's connected or not, he also discusses it by Lag BaOmer at night getting married. But Rav Moshe discusses about Leil Yud Zayin Tamas b'shas Chak. You could be Meiko, but you have the Baal Amor Shita that the fast doesn't begin the day Yom Tainus doesn't begin until the morning, and nothing begins at night, even though it's against Rov Rishonim. You have the Baal Amor, and since also it's only a minute b'alma the 3 weeks, so therefore there's room to mimeko. So it's a famous machlokas, Rav Moshe Feinstein and the Rav regarding the night before Yud Zayin Tamas. According to the Rav, that Ben HaMitzarim begins the night before, and that's why he says that's the whole machlokas in the Gemara. At what point am I allowed to eat up to him? What's the question? If it's a fast going to begin in the morning, what's the difference about Gomar Sudasa or go to sleep? Then we had the issue, Rov Rishonim say Anenu even the night before. We see it's called the Yom Tainus. And we see when it comes to a Kabbalah's Tainus, you got to do it the day before, because you need a full day. So again, that's the Rav's Rayas. And Rav Moshe either goes with the Baal Mor Minhag, and he writes, B'di'evid, B'shat Chachag, one could rely on, and one would be able to go ahead, perhaps in shame, listen to music. Those are separate issues anyway we're going to have a discussion on. But this year it's not really an issue because really Yud Zayin Tamas falls out on Shabbos, which is Friday night, so it's a non-issue, and we're not beginning, and we don't stop fasting until Yud Ches. So it's already, the 3 weeks have already begun, so therefore is that it's not really enough to mina.